Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to show you a project that I think would be super fun to make. I was looking at some stuff. I was cleaning up my studio space and I was thinking about the fancy flower video that I did, and all of these flowers that I made, they're now in their own little individual little glassine bags here. And how pretty they are, and how it's April now and they're spring colors, and anyway, I just thought I need to do something with them. So and I was also, I just finished making my son's wedding invitations, and this is some of the scraps left over from those invitations. This was just part of his invitation, which I haven't filmed yet, but I will. And then I have all of these sheets left over that I had bought for just in case. I always buy extra because you never want to just run out when you're making things like wedding invitations. So I'm going to do a project making with these fancy flower with these fancy flowers, which I will link that video below, with my leftover wood plank patterned paper. It's not even cardstock, it's just paper from my son's wedding invitations and the scraps from the wedding invitations. And I am going to use the medium keepsake box templates. So here's what we're going to make. Let me show you. So I have made, this is what we're going to make. So if you want to see how I made this, let me scooch these out of the way. This is, I haven't decided what to call it yet. Maybe by the time I put a title to the video, I'll know what I want to call it. But it's a window box. And I haven't decided if I'm going to put an album in here or what. But it's a hanging window box. So I'm using some special hinges and some acetate. And then there's a magnet closure here. So this is what we got so far. So, and I'm also going to do a video showing you how I did this technique on these hinges. So if you want to see how to make this, then keep watching. Okay, so let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So what we're going to need to make the base of the wall hanging shadow box thingy, I don't even know what to call it yet, is some medium weight chipboard. I will link everything in the description box below as best I can. We're going to need the medium box lid, and we're also, which is page 1 in the medium keepsake box, and then the base, which is page 2, and the side panel, which is also on page 2. And then that's what we're going to need to make this box, window box, shadow box, window shadow box. I don't know what to call it yet. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to start with the side panel here, and we're going to lay it on here. Actually, we need to scoot it up a little bit. We're going to start here, and I think I'm going to use a Sharpie so that you guys can see. And then we're going to trace it out. Never mind my bruise on my arm there. I just noticed it. We were playing adult volleyball, and it was the tournament, and we played for 5 hours. And I got pretty banged up and bruised up, and I probably twisted my ankle. Anyway, but we did win, so we are the champions. Yay, go us. So it's like co-ed volleyball, adult volleyball. Okay, so I'm going to leave that down there for a minute, and then I'm going to butt this base up next to it, but the side panels are slightly smaller to account to fold these little tabs in, so you kind of want to center it up as best you can. I'm not going to be able to get up over top of it, I don't think. So then you want to trace this out. And remove this. I'm going to flip this up and trace that. And then I'm going to take this side panel again, and I'm going to stick it up next to this side. Careful to center that up. And then I'm going to trace this out. Like that. Then I'm going to take this piece right here, and then I'm just going to flip it around, line it back up, and I'm going to line it up as best I can anyway. And then I'm going to trace this. The reason we're doing it this way is because the lid to the box is going to be a separate piece, and we're going to have some hinges. Oh, I already did that piece, or that line. Okay, so then you end up with something that looks like that. And then for this, I got this other scrap piece over here. All I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to trace the lid. So this is the medium box lid. So I'm going to fold this panel up here, and then I'm going to trace around that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to cut it out. So I've got my Score Pal mat underneath here, and I'm going to use a, what do they call these box cutters? No, what is, they're called something else. I don't remember. I'll link it, but I like it. It's really heavy duty. It's like when you get it like at the hardware store or something. So what I'm going to do is I am going to trim out all the outside edges here. This is a Tim Holtz ruler. And I'm going to go right on the inside. You don't have to. You can go right on the line if you want to. It's not crucial. So we're going to cut that piece off. And then we're going to cut this piece off. So then, oh, I got one more edge here to cut off because I didn't line it up at the bottom there. Okay, so then the next thing we want to do is we want to score these lines. And what I mean by that is you don't want to go all the way through. You just want to make a couple light passes, just like that, to where you can then bend the chipboard. Now I probably need to do one more light pass, like that. So it'll gently bend, just like that. So you want to do that to this line, this line, this line, this long line here, this line, this line, this line, this line, okay? So then, when you want to go to cut these pieces apart, whoops, you may want to be a little bit more careful. So let me go ahead, let me show you, let me go ahead and, if you want a really detailed tutorial on how to do this, then I will link that below. It is when I made this box. This is the medium keepsake box. So I'll show you exactly how to do all of the scoring. So see how I scored that just nice. So then what you want to do is you want to cut these pieces off. Just like this. These are Tim Holtz tonic scissors. They cut through, whoa, they cut through everything, just like that. So then you have something that looks like that. So you want to do that to all four corners, okay? And then, I tried to prep a little bit before I turned the camera on so it wouldn't be such a long video. So then what you want to do is once you get everything all cut out, not like this, you want to take, this is Tim Holtz Distress-it-all. You don't have to do this part, but I think it looks really nice. I still haven't figured out my phone, you guys. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so then you want to just go along each one of the seams. Whoops. This is a craft mat, a non-stick, a heat-resistant craft mat. So you just want to kind of go and go all around the outside. This is after you've trimmed it all out. So you want to do that inside and out. And you also want to go ahead and get those scored, what are these called? Edges. So that you don't see any of the natural chipboard. So I've already done that. And I cut this piece out. I already made them and have inked them up. So this is what you want it to look like. So that, you know, so you go from this to this. So you got two pieces. This is the base of the box and this is the lid of the box. So then what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to go ahead and put the base of the box together. So I'm going to use some Suquane score tape. And I'm going to put score tape on each one of these little tabs. I haven't made this yet. Like I haven't made what I've got in my mind. So this is the first time. I did a little prep work, but I didn't actually make one. So we'll see how this turns out. Okay. I got a whole new set of stylists. These are Martha Stewart stylists, and usually I would use my craft knife to help pick up that backing, but one of these has like a super sharp point, so I'm going to use it instead. I found them when I was on Amazon looking for something. I forget what I was looking for, but I almost forgot. This is my little trash box that I made with my small keepsake box. I didn't make it on video, but it's kind of the same thing, I guess. But I just wanted to show y'all that because I like it. Oop, look at there. I'm going to have to re-ink that. No big deal. Remove the backing off of all of them. And I think I'm going to do this kind of style. I'm really into this shabby look. So I think I'm going to do that to this box. So then what you want to do is you want to fold the side panel in and bring up the front panel or the back panel, whichever one. I guess it's really just the long side panel because there we go. Because it's not really going to be the typical keepsake box. So we're just going to match up all these corners just like that. And what do I do with my... I'm going to press this down just a little bit. Some people ask why we don't, go ahead and do the, mat the inside of the box first. And that's because these little side panel pieces need to fold over and in. You can mat the bottom, the base of it, if you'd like. Okay, so the next thing I want to do before I go any further, I want to do the hanger part. So I'm thinking I'm going to use some seam binding. I think this is Hug Snug seam binding, but it was white and I dyed it to be this like lavendery color. And I don't remember what I used to dye it, which stinks. So I did it a long time ago, but I thought it would match all my fancy flowers that I made really pretty, and I thought it would look really nice with the wood grain paper that I had left over from my son's wedding invitations. So let me see here. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have it hanging like portrait style. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I could have it hanging that way. No, I'm going to have it hanging portrait style. So I'm going to attach the seam binding to this side and this side. So let me find an end here. I usually tuck in, oh, there's an end. So I think I'm just going to take some score tape. I think I'm going to run a piece kind of in the middle as best I can. I'm not trying to be too picky because it's going to be covered up with the mat anyway. I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing. Just like that. And I'm not too concerned about it coming loose because this is score tape, so it's going to hang on to it. And then there's going to be a mat with glue on top of it. So I think we'll be totally fine. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the backing off of here. It's still a little wet, and I did this a while back. That's funny. All right. Let's see, those got pretty sharp corners. Let me cut it a little bit this way. Alright, so I'm just going to find a flat piece here, and I'm just going to lay it on there, like that. Give it a good burnish down, and then I think I'm going to tie a bow for the hanger. So what I'm going to do, I think, is just get enough, and I'm going to attach it to this side, and then I'll cut it in the middle, and we'll go from there. Same thing, I'm just going to lay this down, burnish it down. Okay, so now I've got this really long You could leave it like that if you want to. If you wanted it hanging down that long. It would be fun to have like different sizes at different levels, you know, hanging on the wall. That'd be kind of cute. So I'm just gonna, for now, I'm just gonna tie just a random bow here, just so we have something. So you get the idea. Oops. So it looks something like that, right? And I think I'm going to leave these tails on for now. I don't know. We'll see. So that's how it's going to hang on the wall, right? Which I think is super easy, super simple. And I think once we get it all matted and everything, it's going to hold just fine. Okay, let me move this. We might still need this. I'm not sure if I'm going to make an album for the inside. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet. Like I said, I've been really inspired by all of my design team members' projects. They've been coming up with some fun stuff. So okay. So then the next thing I want to do is I am going to have a window in here. So I think I'm going to do that next. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 1 inch in all the way around. And I better use my pencil this time. So I'm just going to go ahead and line my ruler up on the edge where it's 1 inch. On the ruler, the marking is 1 inch, and then draw a line. And then I'm going to do the same thing on these ends. So then it'll have like a little window. Oh, and I just threw my pencil on the floor. Okay, so now I'm going to take my box cutter here. It's called something else. I wish I could remember what it's called. That's driving me nuts. Utility knife. It's a utility knife. Yeah. Oh, I figured it out. Okay, so you want to go all the way through. So we're going to go all the way around. Let's do the 2 long pieces first. Okay, did I get all the way through? Almost. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to erase a little bit of those pencil marks there. Okay. So then the next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and ink that part. Let me get my craft mat back out. So I'm going to ink the inside. Like that. Flip it over. Ink this. And then you want to try to get the inside edge as well. Okay, and then we're going to let that dry. But in the meantime, I need to, where's my ruler? I need to get my templates out is what I need. So I'm going to move this out of the way. So I need the matte template for the lid of the box. So it is on page 4. So that's this. So I need this one. And let me grab a sheet of my scrapbook paper. So instead of printing it out, I'm just going to go ahead and trace it out onto here because I want it to go this way. I want the lines to be that way. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to lay it down. And I'm going to trace it like this. I'm going to need 2 of them, aren't I? So I'm going to go ahead and trace another one. And I'm gonna get my paper trimmer out. This is a Fiskars heavy duty precision paper trimmer, my favorite. So I'm gonna cut them out at the same time. There's one strip. So this paper is from Hobby Lobby. Like I said, it's from my son's wedding invitations left over. I haven't filmed that yet, but I will. I didn't want to put it up too soon because I don't know if everybody's gotten them yet or not. Okay, so we got these two pieces. So this will go on the front and the outside and the inside of the lid. So let's see here. What would be the best way to do this? So I need to go, I think, 3/4 of an inch inside of these. So let me flip this one over. I'll just do one first to see if it's correct. So same thing. I'm just going to flip it over. And I'm going to trace 3/4 of an inch all the way around and then trim it. I really need to sharpen my pencil. Good grief. Oh, I still need that. And since I've got my box cutter out, I'm just going to use it. Probably should use my paper trimmer, but I mean my craft knife. But whatevs. Okay, did I get it? I got it. Okay. Oops, wrong piece. Alright, let's see how I did. Ooh, I did pretty good. Pretty good. I like it. Looks good. Okay, so I'm going to do the exact same thing to this. And then I'll be back. Okay, so I've got these two trimmed out for the cover. So what I want to do now is, or for the lid, not the cover, I want to go ahead and ink these up using my archival ink and coffee and my Tim Holtz blending tool. And all I'm going to do is go around the edges here. And I'm going to get my fingernails so that they look nice and brown. Let me move this one out of the way. Just like that. And then I'm going to go on the inside like this. Just to knock down a little bit of that raw edge look. This is not cardstock. This is super flimsy, like pattern paper. So you have to be a little bit more careful. Alright, so I'm going to do this to the other one and then I'll be right back. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, like I said, I wanted to do like this distressed edge right here, but this is like super thin paper, pattern paper, right? And you can use your pre-med distress tool, no problem. But what I think I'm going to use, I was looking through some of my stuff the other day and I found this. I don't even know if they make them anymore, but I used to love this thing. I used to use it all the time. It is a Zutter Distress-it-all. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description box below. But I used to use this all the time when I made like custom books and stuff that were real shabby and vintage. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold these two together. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. So I'm going to just like turn it on and drag it. Oh, it's so flimsy. So that's what you end up with, that type of edge. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to go ahead and do all four sides here. I'm going to do both of them together so that it seems like it's a little sturdier. So cool. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got that all done, but I thought I would show you. There's the button you push, and then inside of there, I'm not sitting there, you might be able to see it right there. There's a wheel. I can't get to it because it's, you know, kind of like a safety thing, but there's a wheel that turns that distresses the edge of your paper. So, love this thing. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I've got a few things I've got to do before I can attach it to the box. So it's going to go like this. It's going to be so cool. And the inside's going to be wood. I'm going to use a piece of acetate. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this puppy down. And I'm going to use score tape again because Oh, do I need score tape? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and use it. Why not? I'm not going all the way to the edge. I really like that shabby look, so this one is the 3/8 of an inch score tape that I accidentally purchased, but hey, I'm using it. I've got 5 rolls of it, so I'm going for it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take the backing off of here. And I will probably use a glue stick so that I have a minute to position it. So this is just a cheapy glue stick. This is a Hobby Lobby, Paper Studio brand, whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna stick this one. Oh boy. So I need to make sure there's an 1/8 of an inch approximate all the way around. If it's not exact, it's okay. I can't tell, I can't get my head over it, but that looks good enough. I'm gonna squish it down. Okay, so on the back side here, I need to put a piece of acetate. So let me grab my acetate. I can find it. Here it is. This is the acetate that I use, Duralar Graphics. Oh, it says the acetate alternative. I wonder what that means. It's medium weight, 9x12, archival. I don't know. I guess it's not acetate, it's the alternative to acetate. Anyways, so I'm gonna need a piece that is about, I'd say about 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Let me get my paper trimmer back out. And let me find a piece of acetate. Nope, that's not going to cut it. Here we go. Oh, that's pretty perfect there. So let's go ahead and trim this down. It's already at 6 1/2, so let's see if that'll work. And then this over top. So then it'll look like this. So it'll be on the inside, which I think would be cool. Okay, I can't attach that down yet, I don't think. No, but I can attach this down, because the next thing we need to do is, oh shoot. Let me attach this down and then we'll go from there. I'm gonna go ahead and use the score tape again. Okay, so I've got all the backing off. Now I'm going to lay this in here. I'm going to try my very best to get it in there. No, I didn't get the crack. That's okay. So then I'm just going to burnish that down. And then we are going to have to work on the box a little bit, because I am going to be using these Tim Holtz hinges, Ideology. I'm not sure. I'll have to look and see if they're, I'm sure they're still available, but they're really cool little hinges. So we're going to be putting them on the lid here and on the side of the box. So one of the things I need to do is I need to go ahead and cut this piece and attach it down. But I think first I'm going to change the color of these hinges. Okay, so we've got our hinges ready. So if you want to see how I did that, that video will be coming up soon if it's not already out. If it's out, I'll link it down below. But super fast, super easy, super cute, and you can make anything look like antique-y, vintage-y look. So those are ready and dry. So I'm going to scooch those aside for a minute, because now I need to I need to get these outside panel pieces cut because I definitely need to have this one attached before I attach the lid, the cover, the window box part of the shadow box. I still haven't decided what I'm going to call it. So what I'm going to need is my outside of my box templates. So I'm pretty sure they're on page 5. No, that's the inside. This is the outside for the mat and lid. Outside side panel. Outside other side panel. And then outside mat for the base. This is on page 6. Sorry about that noise. So I need all of these pieces. So for this one, I'm going to get another full sheet of my leftover paper studio. This is called Wooden Fence. It's 154484 in case you're at Hobby Lobby and you want to look for it. So again, I'm going to put this to the back side. I'm going to lay this on here. So this is the outside base. So I'm going to trace this. And I still haven't sharpened my pencil. Like that. And then for the side pieces, I've got these scraps left over from when I made the invitations. So I was wanting everything to go the same direction. So I'm going to use these pieces for the side, long side pieces. So I'm going to lay this down on here. Hopefully you can see. Everything's wood, I know. I'm going to lay these on here. So I'm going to need 2 of those. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll just cut these out at the same time, like so. And then for these pieces, I'm going to use these pieces because of the way the wood is going. So then I'm going to need 2 of these. So I'm just going to lay this on here, like that. And I'm going to cut 2 of those out at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these out. I'm going to ink them up with my archival ink. And then I'm going to use my Zutter Distress-it-all. And I'm going to distress all the edges. So I'm going to go ahead and do all that. And then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got all those pieces cut. And then I also went and did all of the inside pieces as well. So they're ready to go when I need them. So here are all the outside pieces. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to be doing a magnet closure here, so I'm not going to do that one yet. But I am going to put the base, the back of the box one on. I'm going to go ahead and put everything on that I can, and then go from there. So this is just Fabri-Tac by Beacon. My favorite. But you can use whatever glue you want. But when you're using a really thin paper like this is, you know, you don't want glue that's going to warp and where you're going to be able to see all of the glue lines, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to get my bigger Teflon one out and just give it a good push. And notice I didn't use any of my corner pieces. I just wanted to look real organic. Okay, so I'm going to put this side on. I'm going to go ahead and add that. You know, I didn't even check to make sure they fit. Ooh. Okay. Go ahead and put that one on. I'm going to put the top and the bottom on, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and put glue on both of them. Oh, I guess I could have tried to make sure that they matched. There, that one matches. Meaning that it matches with the back side. See how it matches? Alright, there's one. I bet you this other one doesn't match. But that's okay. Yeah, I don't think no matter which way I turn it, it's not going to match. That again, it's okay. Alright. So now we got those pieces. So, what I need to do now is figure out my hinges here. So I'm just going to kind of lay this. Let's see. Let me do it. Let me see. So in order for it to fold, it's going to have to really Okay. So I think I'm gonna lay it, I'm gonna attach them to my lid first and then go from there. So I scoot it down a little bit from the top of that window there. Like that. And then I'm gonna mark it. I'm gonna use my Sharpie. Just gonna mark these little holes here. Okay, and then I'm gonna measure. So that hole is almost 1.5 inches from the top. So I'm gonna lay this down and line it up a little, almost 1.5 inches. Oh, how deep are the holes? About 3/8 of an inch, almost 1.5 inches. No, the hole is almost 1.5 inches. So that needs to scoot down. Yep. Actually, I think I got it. So I'm going to mark it with a little dot and a little dot. Right, now I'm going to check with my ruler. Can I see my dots? Dot, a little dot. I think those were the dots. Almost 1.5 inches. And you know what? If they're off, they're off. It's okay. So then these are... Oh, I need to come up a little bit. It's a good thing. You won't be able to see them. Okay. So now I'm going to get my pokey pad out. If I can figure out what I did with it. This is just 2 layers of fun foam glued together, and this is Tim Holtz die pick. I call it a pokey tool, but it's a die pick. I finally figured that out. So I'm just going to poke a hole where I made those marks. Like that. And then here are my brads. So I'm going to lay this on here. I'm going to lay a brad in there, or put a brad in there. And the reason I didn't use my crocodile is because I want it to be tight. So then I want to make sure it's going a certain way so I can cover up the little brad pieces. Like that. So there's one. There's the other. Let me turn it. There we go. And then I'm going to take my old burnisher, I'm going to try to squish it down. Okay, so there's one. One of the hinges attached. Ooh, that one's not very tight right there. Well, that's okay. Once we put glue on it and stuff, it'll be good and tight. So I'm going to do the same thing to this bottom one here. Squish down. Okay, so now they're both on there. All right, now I'm going to lay it, and we'll try to. I'm going to see how we can do this here. I'm going to lay it on top, and I'm going to center it up. And hopefully, I can't really get over top of it, but I'm going to try. Just like that. And I'm going to mark it with my Sharpie. I'm going to mark the side of the box here with my Sharpie. Okay, this one's going to be harder to poke through, but hopefully I can do it without poking through my finger. There we go. There we go. Oh, it's not so bad after all. Okay, so now I'm going to, geez, I'm going to keep doing that is what I'm going to do. Put one brad in there. I wonder if I just go ahead and put all 4 brads in, that maybe it'll hold it better. so I don't have to hold the lid. We'll see. These are just the tiny little brads that come with it. Well, this one doesn't, this one's bent a little bit. Let's try this again. Okay. So I'm gonna just flip it down on its side, and then I'm gonna try to open these up here. Yes. Look at there. Now I've got my lid on. Check it out. I've never used these hinges. I love them. Adorable. I like it a lot. Okay. Now the next step. Let's see. Before I do any more matting, I'm going to add the closure. So I think I'm just going to use a scrap piece of, what is this called? Craft cardstock. I'm going to get my scoreboard out here. And all I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to score it at 1 inch and 3/8 of an inch. This will all make sense in just a minute. It doesn't really matter what size the scrap is. But then I'm just going to do one side. I'm going to go ahead and use my Tim Holtz Distress Stain, and I'm going to give it a good coat. And then I'm going to let that dry. But I already have one made. So it looks like this. Same thing. I scored it at 1 inch and then 1 inch and 3/8. So the idea here is it's going to go on here like this. And there's going to be a magnet under here. So, and then there'll be a magnet, not a magnet, there'll be another magnetized thing over here. So let's start with this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center, and got my Tim Holtz ruler here. Not 3.5, somewhere between somewhere between 3 3/4 and 3 5/8 is the center. And I'm just going to mark it. I'm going to mark it with my Sharpie. How far do I want that to cut? That's too far out. So I'm going to come in just a little bit. Where's my pokey tool? I'm going to try using it with my pokey tool. Really? I just lost it? Really? Oh. I have my little contraption I made the other day over here with a jar to hold my things, but I keep forgetting about it, that I need to put my things in the jar. In the jar it goes. So I'm going to try, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these Tim Holtz hitch fasteners. So I've already got one out, and I'm going to use one of these basic gray magnet disc. This is a small magnet. I'll link all of this below. So self-adhesive, super slim, and seriously strong. But anyway, I'm going to use one of these. So I've already got my hitch post picked out. I'm going to have to do the same technique that I did to these. So what I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do is try to get this through that hole, the screw part, because it's a 2-piece deal. Nope. I might have to use the crocodile. Let's see if I can get it a little bigger. I just want it to be snug. Oh, you know what? This needs to go on the outside. This needs to go on the outside anyway. So, that being said, shoot. Let me go ahead and attach the mat for the inside of this lid before because this is gonna magnetize to the magnet. So let me go ahead and attach this. So I'm just gonna use my Fabri-Tac, and I'm gonna go all the way around. I'm gonna go all the way around the outside, and I'm gonna go around the inside just a little bit. Like that. And then I'm going to lay this on here. Center it as best I can. Okay. I think I will have to use my crocodile to get that through. Make sure I've got it over those brads pretty good. Yes, I love the way this is turning out. Love it. And of course, my acetate alternative is a little dirty, but that's okay. Let me find my crocodile. This is a We Are Memory Keepers crocodile, and I'm going to use the 1/8 of an inch hole over here. And I'm just going to go right over top of that mark that I made with my die pick. Yep, there we go. So I'm just going to punch that hole. I'm going to feed this through the back, and hopefully it's big enough. And I'm going to screw this on top. So it looks like that. Super cute. It's like a little doorknob. Okay. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out which one of these magnets attaches to this the best. So it looks like that way. So I'm going to need to add a little bit of score tape to this side of the magnet. Like so. Take the backing off. Alright, so then I'm going to flip this piece over that I made, and I'm going to put it right in the middle. Just like that. It should not matter. So then that should attach to that, just like that. Now all I need to do is glue these two sides down. So to do that, I'm going to use score tape again, because I don't want it to move. This is so cute. I wonder, I should probably take this backing off so that it'll stick to the box a little bit. The magnet itself will stick to the box. Alright, I'm going to remove the backing on the, whoops. I'm going to remove the backing here. Okay, so I'm going to attach this. I'm just going to magnetize it to it right there, just like that. I definitely don't want it to be too far over. So then I'm going to close it. Whoa. Press it just a little bit so it'll stay put. And then I'm going to attach it to each side. The inside and the outside of the box. So now I have something that kind of looks weird like that, but you're not really going to notice it because it's going to be, you know, you're going to be facing this way. So it should attach to the magnet, and it does. So that's so awesome. Yeah, and look at it's holding. I was scared. Is it going to hold? But, you know, it's not going to be hanging upside down on the wall. It's going to be hanging this way. So it should hold it just fine. And if not, we'll just add some more magnets to it. Isn't that cute? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and finish matting everything. So I've got these mats and I got this. Let me go ahead and mat all these. I'm going to add my glue to every one of these. And then I'm going to add them to the box. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got everything matted on the inside and on the outside, and it's looking pretty cool. I did do the same thing to that little hitch post thing there. Put a little gold on it and then put a little gesso so it kind of matches. So there's like the base of our wall hanging window shadow box. I don't know what else to call it. So I guess, and it will wait in another video to do the embellishing, and I'm going to think about what I want to put on the inside. But if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that button right there. Check out all these other videos, and I will see you next time. Bye.